My Instagram sucks. It really does. And that's not a good thing because I'm a social media major hoping to get a job in social media one day. It doesn't look good when my Instagram looks terrible. And my issue is I don't know how to make a feed that looks nice. And I also don't really know how to take pictures very well. So I did some research and this is my plan, kind of. The first is to post carousels. Instagram says they're going to stop focusing so much on reels and go towards more posts. And I heard someone say that carousel posts are going to be the way to go. I kind of figured out across all platforms that romanticize your life kind of sums up all of my content. That's very, very broad, and that can mean almost anything. So I really need to figure out what kind of like my pillars are around that, like the aesthetics around that, and what items I'm going to be doing more of. Am I going to be doing more room decor or fashion related, food and drink, nature? What I want to do and show you if you are following along is how to mind map. And that's what I'm gonna have to do for this because these concepts are broad. So first just put your topic in the center. So I'll just put Olivia Lee IG. And then basically you're just gonna make a bunch of branches off from here. So I'm gonna put my main categories, I guess. So I know romanticize your life is one, but then one type of look or feeling or aesthetic I want to go for is small town. And then I also said Americana. Now I like to color coordinate when I do this just so I kind of know what's going where. Then I'm just gonna start thinking of ideas, anything that comes to mind. So when I think of small town, for example, I immediately think of coming of age movies. And that leads me into thinking of actual coming of age movies. Small town also reminds me of the suburbia aesthetic. Follow the natural flow of how you think about things. That's basically all you do. This is a really good starting point. And I got a lot of great ideas out of this. So on to step 2, which is going to be planning out the posts I want. And we're breaking out the whiteboard for this. So my goal is to take 20 photos, or at least enough for 20 posts. Number 1 is something to do with a record. Number 2 is something to do with a stereo that my parents have. So yes, I did want to do the stereo photo. The stereo that my parents have is so dusty. It's gonna take me a while to do that. So, and I don't feel like putting in that type of energy. So instead, I thought I could take some pictures of plants outside. The only problem is that it's raining. Number 3 is something to do with jeans and a drink. I have an idea for this beer that I have. I was inspired by this picture. I'll put it here. So I have 2 cans that I really love. I have this orange one and then this one with planet on it. Now red is more of what I want my color scheme to go with, but there's so much blue in it. I feel like it's really just gonna kind of blend in a little too much. I'm wondering if I should have one pop of color like this. Yeah, I think I like this one with the jeans more. This will not fit like in my pocket and like look good. So I'm gonna need to figure out a way to kind of hold it. I don't like my hands, so this will be challenging. I'm gonna throw on a few rings. Number 4 is film canisters. Number 5 is Sprite and flowers. Number 6 is Italian summer perfume. Number 7 is a quote. Number 8 is my boots. So for this picture, I was inspired by this, and then I realized it's actually way too cold out for me to do that. I cannot be in shorts or a dress. I don't think I hated how those ones turned out, but I want to try something else since there is like this cool fence here. Number 9 is a map. Number 10 is star earring. Number 11 is all denim. Number 12 is bubble braid. Number 13 is full outfit and playlist. Number 14 is some sort of shoe close-up. Number 15 is my closet. Number 16 is laying in the grass. So in this picture, I said I wanted to be laying in the grass, and I was inspired by this picture. But this is an empty cornfield right now, and there's a bunch of, these are technically weeds, but they're flowers. I was thinking I could just kind of try to recreate the picture, but right here. Number 17 is shoes and grass. Number 18 is something to do with a log that's in the woods. All right, we're gonna try to get this log picture. I don't know, I have like no inspiration photos for this one. I thought I would just go into the woods and then inspiration will strike. So far, my only idea has been to get a picture of me sitting on the log, but I could try to make it really symmetrical, I guess. More of like a movie still vibe. Number 19 is going to be my desk and like school setup. And number 20 is going to be something to do with nature. So for the really vague nature photo that I want to take, there's this hunting stand over here. Actually, I changed my mind because I saw this. It's so cute. So it took me a while to figure out the whole editing thing. I spent hours just playing around with different stuff in Lightroom to see what looked good and what kind of vibe I wanted to go for. But I wanted to show you what I kind of landed on, at least for outdoor photos and photos in natural lighting. So I had a lot of photos like this one here, where very bright, harsh lighting, middle of the day, outside with grass or some sort of green nature. I had a lot of these types of pictures. And I figured out an editing style, I guess, that could take this picture into something that looked like this. So what I tend to do first is I bump down anything that could be bright. So I always bump down the exposure a little bit. I always bump down the highlights, and usually I do bump down the whites. In this specific photo, I pretty much just left it right where it was. I increased the shadows and I increased the blacks. I always do bump up the vibrance and saturation. I try not to go too overboard with this, so when I'm adjusting the colors, I tend to only stick to yellows, greens, and blues. For the greens, I really like to increase them. And sometimes it's fun to increase the saturation of the greens. I usually like to increase yellows. I don't know what this color is called, the light blue. I'll increase that by a little bit. Now, this is the only type of photo where I've actually decreased the blues. So I decrease the hue, but then increase the saturation. We're still a little off. This is where color grading is really gonna help. So first I like to go into the shadows, and I really love putting greens in the shadows. For this picture, I'm going to put yellow into the midtones. And then we're gonna put a really like deep blue into the highlights, because the highlights is the sky, and you can see the sky change colors. And I do have to be careful here because it does change the color of my boots. I really like playing with the texture. I really like to give photos kind of like a hazy, a nostalgic memory type of feeling, I guess. To do that, I just kind of decrease the texture, decrease the clarity, and decrease the dehaze. And I also increase the grain by a little bit just so it doesn't feel too smooth. And that is how I'm editing my photos, at least for color. Now I want to get into editing with text over the photos. Hi, I'm coming to you from the middle of the woods. So it's really hard for me to do things and talk to you guys at the same time. So I made the layout separately when I wasn't talking to you, and I'm glad that I did. Now to do this, I just went onto Canva and just put like 20 squares. Each row had 3, just like your Instagram would, to see what it would look like with all the pictures together. I'm really glad that I did, because I hate some of the pictures I took with the feed. I hate the closet photo. I hate it. It doesn't go. It doesn't even stand out in a good way. It just stands out in a not good way. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. That picture's just gonna go. I also don't think photos of like beer fit on my page too well, at least not right now. So I'm not gonna post it. I have another Instagram account for Indiana content, and this is an Indiana brand. So I'm just gonna post it over there, but I'm not gonna post it. on this account. And also, this will change because I will be posting some reels, which is fine. I don't really care about having the perfect feed, just as long as the colors all kind of work together in some sense. So if you want to see the final results of the pictures I'm releasing and like what captions I came up to go with it, go follow my Instagram. I will put it here. Thank you so much for watching. Bye!